Can you think back to a moment that changed your life and business forever? I sure can. Here's a quick overview of my last 3 years. When everybody else was going back out into the world after COVID, I had 4 surgeries in 8 months for a brain aneurysm. Then I thought I was okay, everything was going great, and I had a stroke. Several more months go by and I'm feeling better, so I go in for a routine mammogram where they saw something. The doctor says, "Let's go get a sample of that just out of an abundance of caution. It's probably nothing." A couple weeks later, the phone rang. Breast cancer. I spent the next year going through surgery, complications, treatment, and recovery. During all of this time, my business was flattened by the tornado that had become my life. There were just too many changes. I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to keep up with all of my business contacts. I didn't go to networking meetings, and I didn't continue doing all the things that we must do to keep our businesses active. You know, things like posting on social media every day. I didn't have the energy to even keep up with my closest clients, so I could ask about referrals. And referrals were my lifeline that kept my business around during COVID. I know that these things are big examples of changes and impacts, but there are other ones that seem big at the time, but in the big scheme of life, they really aren't. But we have to get past them to figure that out. In the moment, it's just like, ah! Here's an example of what I'm talking about. I'm at work, and I realize I didn't take anything out of the freezer that morning so I could have it thawed by dinner time. And I don't have enough money to go to fast food places. The only thing I have in my house is pancakes and fruit salad. I'm such a bad mother, I say to myself over and over all day. But my boys loved it. They even asked if we could have breakfast for dinner more often. It's a change that worked out well in the long run. Here's some examples from work. I need to print out a report, but the printer ink just ran out and there's no more. I can grumble and blame someone else for not ordering new cartridges and waste a bunch of time, or I can call someone on a different floor and ask, "Could I please use your printer?" Or maybe you're on the way out to a client meeting and you run into somebody in the hall. No, I mean you run into someone in the hall and now you're wearing their coffee. How might the end result of any of these examples have been different if you had been more prepared? There's so much in life that we can't control or count on. For example, you can't count on the stock market to be at its highest when you're ready to cash out. You can't control traffic and count on it to be running smoothly, especially if you're running late. And you can't control or count on some people to do what they say they're going to do. Darn the humanity. But you can absolutely always count on change. There's a Greek philosopher who once said, "The only constant in life is change." Some of you have probably heard that before. The only constant in life is change. So are you thinking, yeah, I know, change is inevitable, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. You're right. I don't know anybody who lays in bed in the morning going, please, 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 please dump a big change on me so that it'll ruin all the processes and systems that I've worked so long and so hard to put in place. Yes, change is hard. Yes, change is uncomfortable. And most often, change is unwelcomed. Too many people give too much power to change. But the power is really within us to take control when and where we can during times of change. Have you ever noticed that two people can face the same change but have completely different outcomes? Why? Because of how they chose to handle that change. We all know humans are creatures of habit, quite comfortable in the perceived safety of our routines. Too often, we try to avoid change. We want to fight it, or we want to just hide from it. When changes happen, do you feel like you're stuck on a hamster wheel, running furiously and never getting anywhere? I'm here to help you build resilience and jump off that hamster wheel so that you can build a business and a life that you really want. Do you feel like a boxer throwing punches over and over again with your eyes closed, landing or hoping to land that knockout punch? I'm here to open your eyes so when you have to throw punches, they successfully land on target. Do you use the moments when all is calm to plan for the moments when the storms come? I'm here to guide you towards those moments of calm, even when the storms are blowing around you. So what have we learned so far? Change is hard, and it's in our nature to run and hide from change, and that the result is going to be based on how we react to the change. The power is really in our hands. We can control our responses to change instead of letting the change control us. Let's focus on learning to invite change up close and personal. Puffing up our chests and getting ready to face the change. No, not to beat it up, but to embrace it, to shrink it down to a more manageable size so it's less scary.